Hey guys, GSP on GSP Talk Sports here, and we're talking UFC review. UFC Freedom 250 went down last night, Sunday night, from the White House. And in the main event, we had Justin Gaethje with the huge upset for most people, getting it done over Ilia Topuria. In the co-main event, Cyril Gane getting it done over Alex Pereira. So getting into the full fight review here. By the way, masterclass production from the UFC at the White House. Listen, if you didn't see this card and all the little documentary reels and stuff like that in between fights, it was a really amazing production. They could only really outdo themselves now. They did as we mentioned in the preview, they did Fight Island, they did the Sphere. I think the only thing they could do now is go to the moon and have the fights up there in some kind of capsule or something. So yeah, it was amazing. The jets flying over, the live band, the whole atmosphere. Really something special, really a one of one, as we would have spoken about. And yeah, on Trump's birthday, nothing better they could have done for him. They built the claw. So listen, this was totally a mind-blowing event. I don't think most people are talking about it's one of the best MMA events of all time. In terms of everything, the production, the results. I would have spoken about in the preview what different fighters would have had to do to try and get their wins. Coming from the main fight come down, I would have spoken about Ilia Topuria, the El Matador versus the highlight Justin Gaethje. They both have good wrestling backgrounds and hardly ever would have used it. But in this fight, it started off pretty okay. Listen, this was a bang of a fight, by the way. This was fight of the year contender, back and forth. Ilia started off doing what he kind of does. First round actually was kind of close because Gaethje, for me, surprisingly, I shouldn't say surprisingly. I would have mentioned he has the height and reach advantage, and he would have tried to employ his dirty boxing and get Ilia off his game plan. And so said, so done. He did really well. It was a close first round. Ilia probably edged it. Then in the second round now, Ilia kind of got into it. And listen, Ilia, this is what has me the most pissed. Ilia had Gaethje totally rocked with some brutal body shots, left hooks to the body. Gaethje to me looked like he couldn't continue. He looked like he would not be able to stand. I don't know why in hell Ilia Topuria decided to take down Gaethje. Tried with the ground and pound, had him in an armbar. Should have probably finished the armbar in my opinion. Then went for a triangle, didn't get the finish, and all this time Gaethje getting time to recover on the ground when it should have been where the coaches should have told Ilia, hey, stand him back up and just finish him. You would have finished him in the second rounds. And all now I would be saying, and still, and he being one of my favorites, a legend of the sport, future Hall of Famer, all-time great, we'd be having a different conversation. Instead, he allowed Gaethje to get back in the fight. And in the third round, actually at the start of the third round, Ilia, how his eye was busted up. He couldn't see out of one eye. Now, at the end of the third round, that is something I thinking could have probably been a stoppage. The doctor was saying no, and they allowed him to continue. And Ilia actually, with that little rest, he actually got a second win and was looking better in the third round. And then when it went into the fourth round, then Justin kind of poured it on a bit. Actually, it was kind of close in that fourth round as well. Ilia came back in the fourth round, and then by the end of the fourth round, Justin had Ilia down, hit him a brutal knee to the ribs. I don't know if he would have broken a rib. Ilia, like he could hardly stand. You see, went through the elbow, and somebody from his corner tell them they want to continue. I heard, I think it was him and his brother who were saying, no, we had to finish the fight. But this whole left eye, swollen and beaten up, and yeah, it was waved off. So I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. As I said, I'm a huge Ilia Topuria fan. I think he should have finished Justin Gaethje in the second round. But Justin Gaethje is such a dog. I don't know how he mentioned it after, I don't know how he even survived them body shots, right? And yeah, just kept on fighting, kept on coming, showed that grit and determination. He said he has the Mexican mom and the German dad, so he has that gritty kind of thing about him from both sides. And Ilia probably had a broken rib from that knee, orbital damage. And yeah, boy, Gaethje deserves it. Gaethje deserves it, but I would have preferred it to be against anybody else, not against Ilia. But then again, too, Ilia was 17-0. Probably he needed a loss to come down a notch in terms of probably the ego was getting too big, and we'll see how he's gonna come back from this. I really hope he takes some time off and really sorts himself out, because we know he would have had those problems with his relationship, and Ring Ross is real as well too, so all of that would have kind of thrown him back for a whole year. And I mean, probably there's me being a huge Ilia fan too. I think he more lost the fight rather than Gaethje won it. Yeah, I mean, you could agree to disagree, but especially from that second round, Ilia, that wasn't good thinking on his part and his team's part. And yeah, so Ilia loses his title. Gaethje finally, after being BMF champ, two-time interim champ, is now the undisputed champ, and it will be very interesting to see what happens next with him. Does he fight Tsarukyan? And then moving down, so we have Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane. This and all as well. Listen, Alex Pereira is another one of my all-time favorites, and how this ended up going down, I would have mentioned in my preview that Ciryl Gane has a dangerous jab and he moves really well. And he looked really well against Thomas Spinal up until the eye poke. So it would have been difficult to judge with Alex Pereira moving up. As my partner Alvin pointed out, there were a lot of questions to be answered. And Ciryl Gane is a natural fighting at heavyweight all the time. So he got a second round TKO over Alex Pereira after rocking Alex with the same thing, custom right jab. He dropped Alex, but here's what I have the problem with though. He dropped Alex, and Alex was on the ground trying to fight up whatever. I counted 17 shots behind the head, so behind the ear, behind the head, elbows to the back of the head and stuff like that. Herb Dean was right there. I don't even know what Herb Dean was watching. All of those illegal shots Herb Dean allowed. Now, the fight could have probably ended up same way. Alex Pereira would have probably ended up getting finished. But to me, 17 illegal shots behind the head would have taken a toll, especially when Alex Pereira was able to fight his way back up and then end up getting TKO on the feet. So that's, to me, that's the only gray area thing that happened. Ciryl Gane, other than that, he looked good. And to think about what John Jones did to him, because I think he was afraid of John Jones, and he really didn't show Alex that same respect. And Alex wasn't able to really rock him with them power shots, or Ciryl Gane was able to absorb it as a big heavyweight fighting there all the time. And yeah, he got it done. So he's the new interim again champion, and they have to book that rematch with Thomas Spinal. We have to see what happens once it's Ciryl and Thomas Spinal. So that would be interesting. Yeah. And then, so moving down again down the card, we had Sean O'Malley versus Zahabi. I thought it was a great game plan we had GSP in the corner of Zahabi, along with Zahabi's brother, Faris, to pepper Sean with those leg kicks. So especially in round one, a lot of leg kicks. I counted 20 something leg kicks. But in round two, O'Malley with a powerful jab followed up by a hard right hook. And then a walk off salute. I was like, that was really something else. So Sean O'Malley, a lot of people were doubting him. I used to doubt him too, but he really is the real deal and got it done, and probably he'll get back a title shot. Moving down again, we had Josh Hooket versus a 41-year-old Derek Lewis. I'm saying a 41-year-old Derek Lewis because he looked every bit his age. He got out of round one, right? But TKO stoppage in round two, Hooket getting it done. Everybody were thinking, oh, Hooket with a stick, talking one set of crazy stuff. People wanted Derek Lewis to knock out Josh Hooket. Derek Lewis couldn't get it done. We know he doesn't have good cardio. So from the time he got out of round one, we know that it was just downhill from there. He would not be able to last. And Josh Hooket, avoiding Derek Lewis shots in the first round, giving up that big 35-pound weight difference, height, reach advantage to Derek. Listen, the guy could fight, and he got Derek Lewis out of there by TKO, upsetting a lot of people, and calls for the shot against Alex Pereira in a post-fight interview. So I guess doing well, and he's definitely one to look forward to in the heavyweight division, a young heavyweight prospect. Moving down again, we have Chandler versus Rufi, and in round one, I call this one as well. Chandler has been on a big slide. I'm surprised he didn't retire after this fight, but as I mentioned, he has mouths to feed, so he has to keep going. He lost the 6 out of the last 7. And Rufi with a spinning heel kick. Round one, rock Chandler. Just out of natural instinct, I guess, tried to go for a takedown. And Rufi finished Chandler while Chandler on his knees. And yeah, Rufi proposes after. So a really good night for Rufi. And he is a big problem at this 155 with his height and reach. I don't even know how he making 155, to be honest. And moving down again, we had Bo Nickal. Well, this was his second fight. Bo Nickal with our first round TKO over Dacus after high kick tip. And yeah, just disposes of Dacus with some vicious ground and pound. Call this one as well. As I said, I was 5 of 5 in the fights leading up to the co-main and main. Yeah, got it all around there. And yeah, good one for Bo Nickal. He's favorite of President Trump, so they would have been glad that Bo Nickal would have won. And for Gaethje to be winning it as well as an American. If you're American, you would be happy with what went on last night. With Sean O'Malley winning, well, Bo Nickal, Josh Hooket, so Sean, you would have been happy with what you would have seen. And then the first fight, Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia looked pretty good using that length advantage in the first round. But Diego Lopez, that beast of a guy, listen, in the second round, he got Steve Garcia out of there. TKO. So this is the first time actually all the UFC fights would have ended in finishes. So, I mean, what else could you ask for as a fan, really? You know, for me, I can't lie, I'm very disappointed with the co-main and the main, 2 of my favorites, Ilya and Alex losing, but what a night, what a production. Well done, UFC. Thank you, President Trump. And yeah, let us know what you thought about it in the comments. Don't forget GSP on GSP Talk Sports. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, comment.